Welcome back, part 2 of the WR250 build. Today we're going to be going through a bunch of parts. We got parts over there, parts over here. We're going to go and probably get this engine pulled out. We've got a lot of the stuff off of our list of things to get. A lot of this is like piddly crap, but we still got to get a crank. That's the one that's hard to find. But we're gonna go ahead and start tearing into this thing. We're gonna strip it down. We're gonna get the frame cleaned up and put some fresh paint on it, make it look nice. And to do that, we're gonna get this engine out of here. We're not gonna split the engine today. We're still, like I said, looking for a crank kit. But we are gonna go ahead and do the wheel bearings and the front end and get this thing cleaned up and maybe paint it today. So stay tuned. All right, so we got a, what's this, a YZ? So 01 YZ fender. Just test fitting it, see how it's gonna look. I think all the bolt holes should line up. Good. Yep, lines up there, lines up there. Got some lining up right there done. And no tail light. So we're gonna do the tail light down here, right? The undertail, like the Enduro. So yeah, that's gonna clean it up a lot. Get this bike looking a little neater. This old dinosaur fender's terrible. I mean, this thing just makes the bike look old. So, off with that bad boy. We're gonna get this subframe off, get this air box out, get it cleaned up, get all that mud out of there. Good grief, man, that's muddy. So yeah, we'll get this pulled off and get down to the bottom here. See if we can't get this thing cleaned up. Taking that swing arm bolt out now. Get the swing arm out of the way. This chain has got like a press-in link, so we're just gonna take the swing arm out and pull the chain out when we get it out of the way. And we've got this pile of stuff here and some stuff out there that is all gonna get, we're gonna etch it, which we got some etching like wheel cleaner that'll make all this aluminum look new. And then we're gonna clean up the air box and get that sanded down and painted. But I think, did you get the bolt out?
You mean pop it through?
Yeah, push it through. Let's see if I can grab it with something. These pliers here will probably do it. There you go. Use that hammer. There's a hammer. Careful not to damage your axle shaft.
It's sitting on the inside of it.
Okay, you want something different?
Yeah. Rubber mallet.
There you go. We should probably take off the suspension linkage first, but I don't feel like it. So we're gonna let it pop out, and then we'll just unbolt this and take the spring and the swing arm all as one unit. Owie. All right, let me see if I can.
Yeah, move that swing arm.
All right, keep bopping. There she comes. Hang on. There we go. There. All right, put the nut and washer back on that thing. And let's go ahead and put the nut and washer back on the axle. And the axle slider block. You got it? Yeah, cool. All right, so now I think we just need to pull this out. Oh, and we got this bolt here. It needs to come out for the dog bone. So, yeah, we'll pull these two bolts out. Tyler's getting all this stuff pressure washed. We just hit this with some etch. It's like etching wheel cleaner. And as you can see, I mean, this thing is bright silver now. Looking good. I mean, it's still used. So, I mean, it's got some wear to it. It's got some staining. It's not going to be 100%, but it's night and day difference in how it was. So, the same thing with the master cylinder. Master cylinder and lever and all this stuff just cleaned up so good. And that's using this, this Eagle 1 stuff. Triple cleaning stuff. It's got some acid in it or something. But yeah. So that turned out real good. Right now we're getting the frame cleaned up. I'm gonna get a brush in here and brush out all this greasy grime. Probably put some of this etch on it too to go ahead and take the rust off the metal and get it ready to paint. And we're gonna wash that because it got oily. So, and I got the air box washed out. And still got a little ways to go in there, but yeah, it's getting there. A couple thin coats to make sure it's sticky. And I'd probably take probably 3 or 4 coats on this really dark rusty spots right through here, but man, you can just see the difference already.
What's that spray paint there?
It's that PJ1 factory color.
And it's an incredible looking color. It's got a ton of metal flake in it like it would have from the factory.
Yeah.
So it actually matches and looks really good.
Yeah, which is gonna help because we're not gonna paint all this up in here because you don't see it. The tank and stuff's gonna cover all that. So
it's got a lot of metallic in it. It's nice looking.
I don't know, man, I might have to paint something with this. We're gonna let this dry for a little bit. Then we're gonna wheel it back in there and we're gonna start reassembling. The motor is gonna stay out because we still can't even talk. We still need to split it and get the crank out. But we don't want a bunch of parts floating around, so we're gonna go ahead and put the swing arm back in, put the wheel back on, put the kickstand on. That way we got a complete bike. And then when we get the motor parts in, with the motor's already out, we build the motor and then just drop it right in. So, well, I mean, we'll get the air box, go ahead and do the air filter, probably go ahead and change these bars, maybe pull the front fender off and look at the mounting setup for that and look at updating it and go ahead and get that new fender put on and see how she looks. I think it'd be a night and day difference. All right, so yeah, so this spring we were told is a 450 spring and there's no markings on it, and what we would normally do is like get on Bike Bandit. Are you pointing at me or what? Where are you pointing at? You're good. So we would normally just get like on Bike Bandit and cross-reference the part number from a 450 WR to a 250 WR. Unfortunately, Bike Bandit doesn't have any information on the springs, so we can't get the part numbers to verify that this is a bigger spring. So what we did is took the caliper to it, and this is a 12 millimeter spring, and then this one is about an 11 millimeter. So that just tells us that this definitely is for a smaller bike. So that's what we're going to use because this is a woods bike. We're not going to be racing. Tyler's going to ride it, and yeah, we just don't need a 450 spring on here. Plus it's already got some wear on it, and this one's brand new that came with the bike, so it's got no hours on it. So we're going to go ahead and split this down. I had to tape this up because the first time I tried to pry on this castle nut, all these little needle bearings fell out, and that was a lot of fun. So we taped it so it doesn't come out again. So we're going to change the spring, put it back on the swing arm, and then throw it back in the bike. All right, so we got the swing arm on. We got the spring swapped out to the original spring. We've got the air box on. We got the new air filter in there. We just grabbed one of those ready-to-use filters because it's cheap and why not. Swing arm's been painted somewhat, and yeah. So this is the new YZ fender, and it's gonna sit in there like so. So this thing's gonna look a lot like a racing bike, Tyler. How does that make you feel?
Yes.
Are you excited?
It looks definitely like it'd be better than a box of parts.
I know, right? So, yeah. Yeah, man, that looks good. It's nice to finally kind of see what your bike's going to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
That tucked in. Yeah.
Bike really hasn't been together in 10 years.
Sweet. So now, go ahead and throw this tire on. just to get it up out of the way, off the ground, so we're not tripping over it. Also, we'll be able to roll the bike around again because we went ahead and put the swing arm bolt for the motor in. So we'll have to pull that back off when we get ready to work on the engine, or when we get ready to put the engine back in it. But that's going to be a while, so just to keep the bike easy to move around and work on and stuff, we're going to basically put everything back together like it needs to be for the most part. Socket there too. Thanks. All right, so there. And we already checked this wheel bearing is really good. So we're not going to change it. We are going to change the fronts. Don't know that we're going to get to that today. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do the handlebars since we got them. Get some of this pile of stuff out of the floor.
Stuff. It's not stuff.
It is stuff. So, what do you got on here? 8?
Yeah.
There. Eight, man.
Maybe it's because they're laying flat and not up.
Oh, wow. That is night and day difference.
Shop humor. Luckily they're not paying us for this content out here.
Yeah, I know, right? I definitely want a refund. Oh man, that bar's in the way. That bar pad. You gonna just take it off? You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a little stay a little bit. Just got a notch in it.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, needs to go to your left just a hair. I mean, super. Whoa. You got them torqued down already, don't you?
Just a little too much.
Whoa, plenty far enough. Yep, right there, perfect.
Can I get the height right?
Oh man, that's lame.
You want to work on getting these levers off, and I'll go open up the other ones?
Yeah. Yep. So we'll take this little rubber deal. We'll take it off and take it over and clean it up real good before we put it back on too. Because why not? There. So.
It's nice to see stuff getting cleaned out.
Here's that. Oh, we got to put that coolant reservoir back on before we bolt this fender down, or this number plate. That reservoir for the coolant. That coolant tank.
Not important.
Oh, it's definitely going to run hot, I'm sure.
This is new, so if we can use it, we should.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah. It says Yamaha, though.
Probably the clutch cable or something. All right, so yeah, so we're going to put that coolant tank on, or I'm probably going to do that because Tyler's on handlebar duty. We'll come back when we get all these levers put on and everything, show you how that looks. Yeah, so I'm going to go get this.
Should we put this back on?
What are you talking about for the...
All the angles.
Oh, yeah. So...
Can we hit this one first?
No, you good. So about right there. Maybe about right there.
For the clutch?
Yeah, so hit your clutch right there.
Here?
Yep. Okay, and then for the hot start, we'll just send it home wherever, right there. Somewhere's fine. Or compression release, whatever that is.
That's the compression.
Yeah. Yep. And then
Where does this go? Where does that one go at?
right there where it's at, actually. Yeah, so the kill switch is good there. Tyler's fixing to have to leave because his wife's going to have a baby. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, we don't know. But anyways, got the bars on. Went ahead and got the grips put on, got new levers. Everything looks really good. I went ahead and cleaned this exhaust system up. I'll probably go ahead and sit that in there just to get it up out of this box of parts. And then I think we're done for the day. So we got a lot done. I got that tank put in, got the lines kind of ran where they need to go. So yeah, we knocked a lot out. I mean, we literally got the motor out of the frame and painted it and reassembled it. So it's come a really, really long way. We are probably going to run a bit over budget because the crank kit, it was a little bit expensive. And then a lot of this other stuff wasn't necessarily things that we needed to buy to get the bike running. But the crank kit, the piston kit, the handlebars were kind of iffy. They weren't bent, they were just really short. So I don't think we can count that as cost to get it running. Wheel bearings are top end, air filter, oil filter. Fenders and the tail kit is definitely not cost to get the bike running. It's more just useless junk that we spent money on.
Just say it, Tyler's picky as shit.
Tyler's picky. Grips and levers and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit over 500 bucks total investment so far, but still well under 1,000. Like what, 700 bucks or something maybe?
So for the total build that we're doing, we're going to be under 9. But for complete rebuild, ready to ride, usable bike with bars and that kind of thing, we're more like 600.
That's sick. So yeah, so I'm gonna throw this on and he's gonna go bye-bye. So thanks for watching, and hopefully soon we'll be splitting that sucker open and putting a crank kit in it and then throwing it in there and then going and doing riding stuff, because that's what we want to do. All right, thanks again for watching.